For ankle plantar flexion, pails, rails, isometrics, we're going to be trying to improve and train the capacity of your ankle to move into this shape, that fully pointed shape. To set up for that, because the tissues of your ankle are just so strong and dense, we really need to be able to apply some strong body weight. So you might be working on one foot at a time. We'll show that setup first. Or you sometimes can work both ankles at the same time. So for this setup, you'll want a block as well as a nice cushiony pillow so it's comfortable, and a nice cushion for under your knee because it is a kneeling position. As you get into this setup, you're going to try to line your heel up with your foot and lower leg. We don't want it rolling out to the side because that will really shift where we're targeting the tissue. And then once you have that lined up, you could either sit back to your heel, or it can sometimes feel great to put another block between your butt and your heel. You could fold up a pillow as well, but this block is as much for keeping your heel in place as it is for actually applying a little extra load and tension to that stretching tissue. Now, Hannah is feeling this line of tension somewhere across the front of the ankle, and she needs this elevation to find that. Some of you might find a clear stretch here or even here, just depending on the limitation in your ankle. Whatever your setup is, the pails contraction would start by making your toes heavy into the floor as if you're trying to go gas pedal up. Once you feel that, add in the pressure with the top of your foot. Start feeling that you're kicking the block with your ankle, pushing forward with your shin, and then finally imagine that you're kicking your leg straight to further intensify that pails contraction. Alternatively, your rails contraction would involve reaching your toes and forefoot up away from that block, trying to point your toes further into plantar flexion, then try to open up the front of your ankle further into stretch, and finally think about bending your knee heel to butt to fully engage the back side. This one is a direct route to cramp city, so flirt with that cramp without fully giving over to it, and go ahead and let that go after the indicated duration. Depending on your ankles, they might be very different and you will have to do one ankle at a time, but for some of us, those ankle end ranges are very similar, in which case you could stretch both at the same time. Here you would elevate both kind of toe parts of your feet, the forefoot, onto the block, and then set that other block between your butt and your heels, again, keeping the heels from rolling outwards on their own. Okay. If you don't use the block, then you might use your fingers to keep them together until your butt is keeping them in place. That's going to be really key. And then the pails rails procedure is the same. Toes heavy, knees try to kick the lower leg into the ground for your pails. And then rails, toes get light, and you're trying to further bend those knees, further point the toe, and not fully cramp that back of your leg. All right, give it a go. Let us know how it feels and any questions you have about your particular setup for your body.